Michael Maxey has a special job. He helps Santa.
I've been doing this for about 2 years, and he sends the elf. I'll give the elf the letters. Santa actually writes the letters and brings them back to the post office, and then we dispatch them.
Maxey says he sees about 15 of those letters headed to the North Pole every day, and he says some of the things these Texas kids are asking for indicates the recession is still here.
A lot of kids families have been affected by the economy, are asking for basic things: shoes, jackets, clothes. Had one letter, really touching. Little girl was asking for Santa to help find her mom a job.
Kids in Lufkin are still asking Santa for the big stuff, but it's evident some are hurting.
A few kids have asked, take care of mommy and this sort of thing, and I do appreciate them asking that because, I feel sorry for the kids.
Holiday helpers say this year is worse than last.
And we were asking for the iPods and PlayStation games and all those big electronics. Not so much this year.
It's tough to see kids suffering around the holidays, but Maxey puts in an extra wish for them to Santa.
I'm just glad that I'm able to do my part, in working with the elves and Santa and trying to see that these wishes and dreams are answered.
I was excited and I touched that ticket 2 times. One time I sold it and second time when I checked it.
He just won the lottery, but this morning Paul Clark came into work anyway.
I woke up, I looked in the mirror and I was still fat, I was still ugly. I decided I better keep on working, and I've always enjoyed working too.
$1.8 million for having the winning ticket, a suggestion from the gas station clerk to try the Texas two-step.
No, I don't ever play that. And as soon as he had said that, I said, I'm not going to take a chance. Okay, but instead of 2, give me $5 worth. And that was the end of it.
Until his girlfriend called to tell him someone from Huntington had won. He thought someone else already claimed the prize.
Then they printed out the winning ticket numbers, and they said, you won the jackpot. And it was just like lightning striking. You're just dumbfounded.
People are hoping that same lightning strikes here twice. Since Clark's big win, the store says customers have been coming in to get their winning tickets.
My back of mind is that now this is the lucky store in the town.
After Clark pays off his ranch, he'll keep driving his 2004 Chevy truck until it won't run anymore. The winnings will pay for more important things.
I'm going to pay for my kids to go to college. I already felt like I won the lottery before this Texas two-step. Both my kids happen to be valedictorians back-to-back of their graduating classes. I think it's important. It's probably the most important gift I could ever give them, and that's what they're going to get.
His advice to those hoping for their big break?
You can't win unless you play, but if you play, don't let it get control of you.
He hit the jackpot without even trying.
Just luck. That's all it is. Nothing else.
It's something that you live with. I wake up at night, I still smell the gunpowder. I still hear him holler.
Friday will mark 21 years since Sheriff Kent Hinson shot and killed a Fuller Springs man. He remembers every detail of that day.
I've never been so sick in all my life, just to know that when you pull the trigger and you hear the thud when it hit the man and watch him hit the ground knowing that you've taken somebody's life or you had to shoot somebody, it made me sick at my stomach.
Hinson and his partner were responding to a family disturbance. When they arrived, a man shot at them with a 12-gauge shotgun. The man fired 23 times in about 4 minutes. Hinson returned the fire.
I watched him load the shotgun. He dropped 2 rounds and then put the 3rd round in it. I heard the gun when it clicked. I heard him when it cocked it. It was either us or him, and that's what his full intentions were.
It was the first and only time Hinson has ever shot anyone. He says Friday's shooting only brings back the memory.
I look back on it a lot of times, how could I have avoided this? There was no way to avoid it. We didn't start this. This man started this when he did.
Lufkin police say the officers involved in Friday's shooting, Ray Hightower and Randy Stollard, had a combined 25 years of experience.
Officers spend their entire career expecting that this could happen and hoping that it never does.
Lufkin officers undergo training several times a year using a reality-based simulator. I was able to go through a training session using a model gun. Instead of a bullet, there's a laser. But officers say although you train for all these scenarios, you can never predict exactly what you're going to find when you arrive on the scene.
It changes a lot in you when that happens.
You don't forget the incident, but Hinson says time has a way of healing.
They did exactly what they should have done. They did nothing wrong. and I just hate that they were put in that situation.
In Lufkin, Holly Neese, KTRE East Texas News 9. This machine means some East Texas parents will be able to bring their newborns home sooner.
And we all felt that the lights that we bought for labor and delivery were a high priority so that we could help with the babies and help them get strong and go home with their moms and not have to spend more time in the hospital.
These Neo Blue LED lights are designed to help speed a newborn's recovery from jaundice.
Jaundice is the yellow color of the skin. And in newborns, what happens is they're born with excess red cells and a rather immature liver. When the red cells break down, they result in the release of a product called bilirubin. When that bilirubin goes and it deposits all over the body, including the skin, it causes the yellow color.
She says the technology eliminates the requirement for a baby to have a mature liver.
The blue wavelength the machine emits, this blue wavelength converts the bilirubin into a form that can be peed out.
The speedy recovery was so important to hospital volunteers, they were willing to raise $10,000 for 3 machines.
We feel so much better that we give back to the community because a lot of the volunteers have lived here in Lufkin their entire life, and they want to give back to the community.
Jaundice occurs in about 60% of newborns, so it's important to have a more advanced way to help those that need the phototherapy.
We have 2 babies and we only have 2 machines that we think, oh my gosh, if we have to put a third one on, we'll have to take another one off. Now we don't have that concern.
For Newland, helping the community's newest members means one day they may be able to return the favor.
Well, we hope them health and well-being, and we hope they grow up and maybe they'll take our places as volunteers and be able to do the same thing for the community.
Asher Burnett may be young, but that's not stopping him from helping an entire country.
You get some flour and get some cookie dough.
He's making tea cakes for earthquake victims in Haiti. He's baking nearly 300 dozen cookies with a group of church members to raise money for the devastated country.
To help them get food and everything.
It's hard to see anybody suffer, whether it's here or there.
Pam Burnett organized the fundraiser. These bakers were willing to pay for the ingredients, so 100% of the profit goes directly to Haiti. She says she hopes the sweet treats raise awareness for the earthquake-ravaged country.
They're all shaped like hearts for 2 reasons. One, Valentine's Day, but one is also to show that our love in Christ to help Haiti.
Burnett says so far this project has taken nearly 10 dozen eggs, 50 pounds of sugar, and 70 pounds of flour. All those ingredients are from a church with just 13 members, attempting to help a country of millions.
I'd love to send enough tea cakes over there to feed everybody, but we can't. But maybe we can raise the money and get medical assistance.
And they'll keep baking until the orders stop coming.
What makes me feel good that, just so few can do so much.
Just a sweet reminder that this church hopes goes a long way toward Haiti's recovery. In Burke, Holly Neese, KTRE East Texas News 9.